Entrepreneurs of Sarasota. All of this connected because of one conversation, but stayed connected because Lynn and I became friends on Facebook and we stayed connected. And Philip and I followed each other on Twitter and stayed connected on Facebook. And we connected via LinkedIn. And because people paid attention, there was someone that mentioned that Kyle Sexton invited them. Kyle's a friend of mine with NSA. He's in Oregon, not from Florida, but recommended, saw, hey, this is something that can benefit you, so he invited Melissa. That's pretty cool, and that's the way that social media can work for your business. Now, a quick show of hands, how many of you are actively using social media to connect to other people, not to promote your business, but to connect to other people? Okay? Keep them up. Do you use it for business as well? Or is that your business of connecting to other people? Yeah. I would hope that it's your business. Thank you very much. Put your hands down. I'd hope that your business is connecting to other people. Because even if it's not your business, if you connect them to someone that can help, they likely will come back to you. So today I'm going to talk about simplified social selling. And today I'm actually trying something new. I'm periscoping this. For those of you who don't have a clue what that is, it's okay. You don't have to do anything or know anything. But my cell phone is broadcasting to anyone who happens to be watching, somewhere between 0 people and the 12,000 that are following me on Twitter. Some number of them, I can't even tell because it doesn't show me. I'm not looking at my screen. Some of them are here watching live. And some, they may not even be paying attention. Periscope is a pop in and out thing. I tried something new. I tried to schedule an impromptu Periscope today. So for those of you that think, hey, well, maybe video is important to me, I want to encourage you. It is, and it's free, and it's easy to at least get started. You may need an expert to help you edit video to do more, but you can at least get started. All you have to do is sign up for a Twitter account, connect it to Periscope, which Twitter owns, and you can have your own live TV show. It's very simple. And the title of my talk today is Simplified Social Selling. Chris asked me how long I'm going. Al told me I have until 4 o'clock, so hopefully you're hungry. Okay? No, I have 30 minutes, and then I'll open it up to you because your questions are more important than the information that I'm going to share because you'll make it relevant to your business. So I'm going to talk about how my business has worked using social media, hopefully how you can make it work for yours, and then we'll take questions until they kick us out of the restaurant, okay? So there's three components to this, and I'm going to talk briefly, high level, about each of these and how they work using social media. Now the first pillar, the first piece is all about connection. And I mentioned connection and interconnection right away because that's the most important thing. If you're on social media and you don't have anything that you think of, if you just think that you're just going to promote your business, please don't use social media. Okay? Because my number 0 rule, the most important foundational piece of social media is simple. It's if you suck, social media will make you suck faster. Okay? If you suck, social media will help you suck faster. Now, what do I mean by suck? I mean, if all you're going to do is tell me how awesome you are, and you do that offline, and then you take that online, I promise people will realize you suck even faster than they will in person. Because they will take screenshots of the things you tweet, they will take pictures of your Facebook posts, they will show you people your LinkedIn things and use them in presentations like mine to show you how not to do social media. Okay? So do we all agree? Let's not suck at social media. Okay? Let's not suck. That's the first thing. Now, other ways to suck are don't have a profile picture of you taken in the last 50 years or last 5 months even. Because here's the thing. Real business does take place online, but often it requires an in-person transaction. And if people see your profile picture hasn't been updated since you started your business, and you show up and you don't look like your picture, it creates doubt in their mind. Doubt is a buying no-no. That is a great way to tell people, no, I don't really want you to do business with me. I don't want you to trust me. Anybody do business with people they don't trust? Raise your hand. Probably not on purpose, right? Sometimes it happens, but now with social media, these suckers, we can see them faster. I have one person who wanted to be my client who put up a picture when he started selling life insurance in 1972 as his LinkedIn profile picture. Wow. And hasn't changed it since. It's been a couple days since then. He has a little less hair, he's not quite as tan, and he's actually lost weight. But he doesn't look anything like his profile picture anymore. And I said wanted to be my client because unless he is willing to change that, I'm not working with him. So each one of you, I want you to think about all the other possible ways that people could suck online. Talking about themselves is one, too much, right? Bad profile picture. Two, lots of other ways. And if you don't know any, think about the ways that people suck face to face. They don't pay attention to you. They don't care about what you have to say. They interrupt you with their own stuff. And so many more. To sell to people using social media, it's about being social, not about selling. Okay? So we talk about connection, and pictures connect us. I encourage you, find a picture of yourself that you like and use it everywhere. Be consistent. Where you show up is where people will see you, and use a consistent picture. Because it was asked, so did you Google Phil? If you Google me, you will see lots of pictures, but the one thing that you will see most consistently of all in almost every picture is you'll see some bright colored glasses and you'll see a big smile. People recognize that. I break rules on purpose. And it works for me. If that's your brand, that's fabulous. You can do that too, but for most of you, it isn't. For most of you, people like the fact that you're consistent, that what they see is what they get every single time. I'm constantly testing. That's my job. My job is to test, to tell you what works, not for you to follow me, and you're not me. You're not me. So bright glasses work really well for me. It matches my personality, it matches my business, it matches what I do. It is consistent, but if that is not you, that is okay. But consistency connects. Consistency connects. Same with your profiles. Take a look. If you're using any social media platform, take a look at your profile. Can you see the consistency between them, even though the number of characters that might be allowed is different? Twitter gives you 160, LinkedIn has 200 or so in the headline. They give you a lot more in the summary. On your website, you get something. If you're on Yelp, you get another thing about your business. Are you consistent? Because consistency leads to connection. Connection leads to trust. Okay, connection leads to trust. Now, there are many social media platforms out there, and I get asked all the time, so Phil, what is the best social media platform? So can anybody tell me what's the best social media platform? Go ahead.
The one that I use.
Oh, the one that you use. Yep, that's one good answer. Go to you and then over here. Yes.
The one that most of the people you want to connect with are
on. There we go. The one that most of the people that you want to connect with is on should be the one that you use. That is the easiest one for you to actually get business. It may not be the easiest one for you to use. If you saw here how much I was struggling to try to put this tripod together on this flat table because I was expecting to have to connect it to a chair, that's not the easiest one for me to use. That being said, it may well be the one that my audience is on, that my customers are on, that my prospects are on. So it took me a little bit more time today to set up than I'd like. That would have been time that I'd much rather spend chatting with each of you. But I know that my audience may also be there, and I'm going to stick around all day if you want to talk to me. Okay? I'm here. But if you're not sure which platform your customers are on, there's one way to know. It's not Google. It's asking them. Ask them. Talk to your customers. Your best source of business is your customers' referrals. The people that already know, like, and trust you, passing that know and like and trust on to other people. And on social media, they can do that, even if they've never met you in person. Even though if they've never met me. Kyle's never met me. Kyle and I hang out all the time on social media. We hang out on Facebook, we hang out on Twitter, we're connected on LinkedIn, all the time. And he made a referral, and you're here. This works. Your best customers may have moved away. I am not in Milwaukee anymore. I'm in Sarasota today. I likely have never been in Oregon where Kyle is. Not at the same time. And yet, he's online, hanging out, and making referrals to his customers to see me here. So I want you to think about that. Where do your best customers hang out? Spend time connecting with them there. So that's the first most important piece, is connection. The second piece is probably the most difficult one, but could be the simplest one, and that's content. Content. Content also connects, but content provides people the context through which to look at your business, at you, at themselves. Content. So this video today, I'm periscoping it, Al is videotaping it, and instead of me having to write an article about this, Al is going to help me by cutting up some video into 2 to 4 minute chunks to create content for my audience so I can put it where they are. Where they are. Now, Jay Baer is an amazing guy. If you don't know Jay Baer, you should check him out. ConvinceAndConvert.com is his blog. And Jay talks about how you can use content in a myriad of ways. So I'm going to share my favorite ways. Jay does it even more than I do, but I want you to think about this. You could get up in front of a group, give a talk about how to use your services without selling you. You could create a talk, you could get that full 30 minutes transcribed, or full hour, or half day, or however long it is, transcribed, turned into text. You could then take the video. You could turn that into a video you could use on your website, the whole thing. You could then take 2 to 3 minute clips, cut that up, put that on your YouTube channel. You could write an article around that on your blog about how that's important. You could write an article on Medium, which is the most trafficked blog site there is right now, on Medium. You could take that little clip, you can write an article on LinkedIn Publisher, free. You can include that as a talking point on Yelp or on TripAdvisor or whatever. You could then take the text, you could turn that into tweets, into LinkedIn status updates, all of which point back to somewhere on your website where you want people to contact you, to reach out, to buy your product or service. Those are just a few ways. You could start a podcast. You could do it every week. Podcasting is easy and nearly free. Think of it as radio on demand with whomever wants to set up a radio station. Whomever wants to set up a radio station. Now, I share those not to freak you out and say, holy crap, I got to do all that. But remember what I said before. Where is the best place for you? Where your customers are. That's where you need to share this. They might be on a Facebook group talking about things. They might be on meetup.com looking for events like this. They might be Googling for answers. They might be using any site there is. But take it and put it there. Put it in front of them. Don't get lazy and say, well, that's nice. Hey, Al, thanks for the video, man. I'm going to take that VHS tape and pop it in my trunk. And if somebody wants to watch it, I'll just put it on my TV. That doesn't work. That seems silly, but that's what we do when we just leave it on our website. When we don't push it out anywhere. Content needs to be everywhere that your customers might be. Content needs to be everywhere that your customers might be. So if you're not sure, ask. And content needs to be helpful, it needs to be interesting, and it needs to be often. It needs to be often. So get into a habit. Take a few minutes every day. Take your phone and record yourself on video. If you're in the parking lot and you're waiting for a customer and they told you they're going to be 15 minutes late, record a video. Solve a problem right there, and then put it everywhere that you are. Put it everywhere that they are. Share it with them. You know what their problems are, and if you don't, ask them. So what are you struggling with? How can I help you? What is it that I know that you need to know? Or let's say you're not sure and you're shy. Well, you can interview people. You can interview other experts. I bet there's more than one person in the world that does what you do. Is anybody here not in a business like that? Anybody here in a totally unique business? No. So you can interview other smart people. And guess what? When you do that, often, not always, often, they will share that with their audience as well, thereby giving you credibility with your content. Lots of tools out there to do it. You can sit next to them and just put the phone down and let it record. But if they're not local, Skype, Zoom.us, Google Hangouts, tons of tools. Tons of tools. But simply, your goal for this content is to put it in front of the customers that can most use it, where they are. Okay, so we have connection and we have content. The third one is the easiest one, and that's conversation. That's conversation. Hopefully, even one person comments on your blog or leaves a comment on a video or shares something of yours and mentions your name. Mentions your name. And here's what, believe it or not, 80% of businesses do. They ignore it. They ignore it. Now imagine here today, if I walk up to you and I say your name, what do you do? Anybody, what do you do?
I'm a realtor.
Yeah, and what do you do if I say your name, Jason? You pay attention?
Yeah.
And you might say mine back, right? Nice to meet you. So think about online. People want the same recognition. They want you to say their name. They want to pay attention. If I say your name, you're going to pay more attention to me than if I don't. So think about you. If somebody's talking to you, to your business, and they say your name or your business's name, they want to be responded to. Now, I often get asked in these conversations, what happens if somebody says they don't like us? Oh my gosh, I'm afraid someone's going to say I suck. Yep, that's going to happen, I promise. Because I don't know anybody who runs a perfect business. Someone is going to say, you didn't deliver perfect service. So what do you do about that? Well, what would you do offline if this happened? You'd apologize. You'd try to fix it. You'd make sure that it was fixed, or at least they were satisfied, and you wouldn't repeat it. Does that sound pretty close to what most of you would do? Okay. Here's what most people do online. No, I didn't suck. Not my fault. Don't talk to me. I'm turning my back. I'm going to ignore it. That's what most people do online. And guess what happens?
It grows like mushrooms in the dark.
Yeah, it grows like mushrooms in the dark. Or it spreads like wildfire. Or people take screenshots of it and they post, look how much your business sucks, on their Facebook pages and tell all their friends, Phil sucks. Here's why. And he ignored me. Can you believe that he ignored me? I tried to give him a chance to fix it and he ignored me. Same steps online, okay? Somebody complains, Dear Phil, on Yelp, your business sucks. With hate, George. Okay, I'm going to respond right there. Hi, George, I'm sorry you feel that way. How can I make it better? Give me a call. So pull it offline. Give me a call. Here's my phone number, 414-640-7445. Call me. Let's make it better. George picks up the phone. Ringy dingy. Phil, you really hacked me off the other day. You know, I wanted 10 mushrooms on my salad, and you gave me 8. That sucks. Okay, George, I'd like to give you 10 free mushrooms. Would you take that? Yep. Great. If you don't mind, would you just go let people know that we took care of this problem? You complained on Yelp. Just let people know it's squared away. So he gets the 10 mushrooms in the mail, and George says, wow, Phil screwed up, but he made it better. And instead of a 1-star rating, he gives me a 5-star rating because he fixed the problem, because everybody screws up. And so then I go back, thank you, George, for reconsidering. I'm so glad we could help you. And then he tells everybody that he knows, yeah, well, Phil did suck, but he made it better. And you know, we all suck. Hey, what a great guy that Phil is. He fixed my problem. Even though he screwed up first, he made it better. And now George is a raving fan. George tells everyone how he got extra mushrooms. Wow. George said I sucked, fixed it, and now tells everybody how much he loves me. Quick story how that actually works in real life. I have a friend of mine who is an author. She's written many books. Her second book, someone did not like at all, but loved her first book, gave a 5-star review of the first book, went to Amazon to talk about how much her book sucked. Book 2. She had a choice. She could hide, she could respond. She chose to respond. She apologized, asked how the book could be made better, and the person removed the "you suck" post and told all of his friends over and over on Twitter how awesome her first book was. And then sent her a personal message to say how sorry he was that her second book clearly was not for him, and how he made a mistake, and how else he could help her. Respond. Respond. Now, admittedly, some people cannot be satisfied. Anybody work with somebody like that? Don't point at the people next to you, right? So, okay, yep, we all do. We all know customers like that. Some people won't be happy no matter what. This is not their tactic. They're not going to be happy. You give them 1,000 free mushrooms, they don't care. But what it does is it shows everybody else in the world that you cared enough to respond. So I don't care if people say, you suck, there's nothing you can do to make it better. Online, on platform, if you're going to ever sell more, you have to be willing to eat that and say, I'm sorry. How can I make it better? And if they say you can't, thank you for the opportunity. If there's ever anything else I can do, just let me know. Because some people will not be satisfied. That's quite all right. That's quite all right. just recognize that everybody else will. If you want to see an awesome example of this in action, go to YouTube and check out a channel called Scam School. Scam School, S-C-A-M School. Scam School. Brian responds to every single YouTube comment. And the best ones, which are the worst ones, he takes screenshots of and posts on Instagram and Twitter of people who tell him that he should burn in hell, that he sucks, that they drop the F-bomb all over, and he responds and diffuses all of them and shows the world that he is listening. So, you want to pay attention, you want to listen to people, respond to them. Don't ever, ever ignore them. Okay? So we have connection, conversation, right? We have content. The last piece is probably the piece that you all are dying to hear. And it's about conversion. Anybody want more business? Raise your hand. Good. The other of you are either asleep or lying. That's nice. Thank you for that. So conversion. Conversion seldom happens on your website unless you're an e-commerce portal. Conversion seldom happens through a purchase on your website unless you're an e-commerce portal. So if you are selling things directly, yes, absolutely, I expect you will convert. But for the rest of you, that conversion might take place in an email. It might take place in a phone call. It might take place face-to-face. It might take place by reading your email newsletter in a private Facebook group that nobody can see. It might take place via text message. I've been booked to speak via text message. Inquiries given. Hey, Phil, are you free on this date? We'd love to have you talk to our group. Yep, sure, via text. Okay, I'll take it. Sometimes it even happens inbound via blog comment, but it seldom takes place where I expect it to. So instead of thinking that you're going to sell, simply be happy with the conversation and try to get a one-on-one audience with anyone who might buy. That starts with knowing where they hang out. It starts by sharing the right content. It continues by having good conversation. And conversion happens where you least expect it. Now, that doesn't mean that if your audience doesn't spend any time on Snapchat, that you should go open up a Snapchat account. If you don't know what Snapchat is, it's okay. There's very little business happening there yet. But just know it's a hot platform for the teens to 25. Okay? It supposedly disintegrates everything you post, except if you search for Snapchat in your app store, you find out Snapchat catchers that can catch those things that supposedly disappear.
Ask Hillary.
That's right, yeah. Absolutely. You can destroy it or it can be destroyed. That is true. Ask Hillary or someone else who thinks Snapchat is safe. Okay? This probably would have got Anthony Weiner in a lot less trouble, but I digress. Okay, so we think about all this conversion. Okay? And I've got one last tip for you, and then we'll open it up for questions. And this encompasses all of the points I made. And it's connection starts with happy birthday. Now raise your hand if you have a birthday. Okay, or know somebody with a birthday. Okay, good. That's all of us. Every day, the first thing I do when I wake up, if I'm home, is I wish people a happy birthday on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Google+. Most of those platforms show when people's birthdays are. In fact, they give those to you long before when their birthday is. Now, I do this every day, and I say I do it on Facebook, but if I have people's phone number, I call them. Now, my birthday is December 2nd. You're welcome to send checks. I'll drop my P.O. box off. You send me whatever you want, right? That's fine. But I'm a social media guy. I've got 3,000 friends on Facebook. I've got 6,000 or 7,000 people I'm connected to on LinkedIn, and about 12,000 on Twitter. So that's about 20,000. But I do this for a living, so let's scale this down to a normal human being that doesn't do social. They're about 10% of what I have. 200 connections. Do y'all have 200 people that you know? Yeah. Okay. So out of those 200 people, for me, out of 20,000, how many people do you think picked up the phone and called? Shout out. Give me a number.
On your birthday, 3.
3, 2, 0, 2. 2 is the right answer. The 2 people that called were my mom, okay, and my buddy Phil Rubino. Phil Rubino calls me because I call him on his birthday. That's the law of reciprocity, okay? That works. And he's a fellow Phil. That's right. Exactly. Okay? I call everyone that I have their phone number for, if I'm stateside, on their birthday. And I have their number, right? Facebook makes it simple now because most people put in their mobile number and they don't even know that it's there. So you can, if you're friends with them on Facebook, you can call them. So 5 years ago, I called my buddy Steve. I didn't get Steve. Steve was a VP at a large financial company out on the East Coast. I didn't get Steve. I left him a message, wished him a happy birthday, and the next day I butt dialed him accidentally. And I hung up. Thankfully, I butt hung up too. I don't know, I'm pretty nimble, I guess. And I hung up and didn't think about it. And a week later, Steve calls me, hey, dude, thanks for the happy birthday wish. And you called me the next day. What's up? Yeah, well, you know, my butt got out of control, Steve. I called. And he goes, oh, well, haha, that's funny. So what's new? I said, no, not much. You know, business is good, working with companies, you know, doing social media. He goes, hey, cool. That's great. Hope to talk to you soon. Whatever, click. So 30 seconds went by, no big deal. About 3 months later, I get a call from Steve. Hey, Phil, you know, we have a proposal for a $5 million account, and we'd like you to put together a proposal for it, because I think you'd be great at it, because it's about social media. Are you interested? Yeah, thanks, yeah. So I put my proposal together, and it's a big company. I didn't win. It's just me. That's okay. The fact that he thought of me is really, really cool. So that was 5 years ago. So this year, Steve's birthday was in June. And again, I call Steve. I didn't get him. I left a voicemail. And then I realized, hey, he's on Facebook right now, responding to other people wishing him a happy birthday. So instead of just posting on his wall, I sent him a private message. Hey, dude, happy birthday. What's new? Oh, yeah, you know, I got named CEO the other day. And I haven't had a chance to update all my profiles. But, you know, I'm CEO. And we'd like to bring you in and talk. I'm like, wow, that's cool. He said, yeah, you remember 5 years ago when you called me on my birthday? Yeah, and you called me today? He goes, I remember that. That stands out. Because nobody called me on my birthday. So my lesson for you is be where your customers are, do what your competition isn't doing, and be yourself. Have fun. Thanks.
That's one microphone. You have another microphone?
He's wearing it.
Is it working?
You want another one?
Well, you only to ask questions. So anybody has,
Just that's,
okay,
I
no
got that
problem.
one there.
All right. So, questions? I'll be your microphone. If he can't hear you, go for it.
No, I can hear you. I'll give you the mic.
Yeah, thank you for your presentation.
Sure.
By the way, just my only question is, you mentioned a lot of things, and I imagine that for a lot of us in this room, it's overwhelming just how many different mediums you call them.
Yeah.
What do you suggest learning one at a time?
Yeah, so what I suggest is figure out, again, where are your customers? And go there deep as you can, as hard as you can, and be there, right? Give it everything you have, and then branch out, remembering that ultimately your content is the same. So if you can go deep with video, you can put that a bunch of places, right? You can hack it up a bunch of places. It's one of the reasons why I love video, because I can do it once and I've got 8 ways I can use it. Now, I'm not telling you that YouTube is where they're hanging out, right? Don't misunderstand me. I'm telling you that's content I can sprinkle everywhere. Now, a one-to-one is always best. So if you don't have an email newsletter in your business, you need one. You need an email newsletter because you can gather information that you'd never get via social. You have no idea when people's birthdays are on Twitter, for instance. No idea. And you can't export that information from somewhere else. But if you use like MailChimp, you can gently incent people to give you more information. There's a marketer by the name of Chris Penn, puts out a newsletter every week, and he gives out premium content. It's free, but he gets more information about you. So, what can you give out that's premium that will get people to give you more information? I don't know the answer, right? It's different for each of you, but I want you to think about that, right? What's kind of a next step from, hey, I met you and I want to learn a little more about you, to, hey, here's something a little more rich that would make you give me even more. Because if there's no cost, no dollars that are exchanged, it's information. Does that help?
Yeah, it does.
Cool.
Next question.
I'm just curious, Phil.
Yeah.
What experience do you have with people making auxiliary income with links to advertising?
Yeah, so affiliate income. Affiliate income is very interesting in the fact that if you don't use the product, it makes it really hard to recommend because you come off as a scumbag, right? So if you use it, it could work. We think about the old, direct sales thing. The best customers are the best salespeople. So can that work? Absolutely. But remember, FTC says you have to disclose it. You still need to be where your customers are. You probably cannot buy ads with those keywords. So if you're selling clocks and it's the ABC Clock Company and they have an affiliate program, you can't bid against ABC Clock Company for their words. So that makes it much more difficult and yet much more easy, because if that clock adds value to people's lives and it's added value to yours, you can tell that story, and people that resonate with that are going to buy. People that don't aren't, right? That's why content matters. So everything you use, I'm always looking for affiliate things that I can use, because frankly, I don't have time to produce all the content I need. It's why I interview smart people, and sometimes we share. Sometimes I'm just happy to, just to promote them as well. But absolutely, there's nothing wrong with that. I have experience with that. I do, I have a video testimonial thing that I endorse. I've got other, small pieces of marketing that I endorse. GoToMeeting, for instance, is another one. So any of those, absolutely. If you believe in it and if you use it, you can absolutely make money with it.
Any other questions?
What's your favorite beer, Phil?
What's my favorite beer? Now that I'm here in Tampa, Cigar City is awesome. I'm really impressed with Cigar City. I don't like most of the large breweries. I'm a craft beer guy, so I'm kind of partial to Lakefront. I don't know if you guys get Lakefront down here. It's a Milwaukee brewery. It's awesome, but locally, Cigar City is fantastic. I'm a big fan, and really anything they have is really good. Yeah.
What kind of
Hold on one
people
second,
do you-
Jason.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
What kind of people do you work with?
What kind of people do I work with? That's a great question. So I work with, entrepreneurs, I work with speakers and authors, and I work with salespeople. Those are the three groups of people that I can help most. I certainly get marketing, but to do just all marketing, I'm not the do guy, I'm a strategy guy. So people that want a strategy and either have a team or need a team outsourced, that's who I work with. Because I can lead a team. I work a lot. Salespeople really get it, and entrepreneurs too. Good question.
I just have this sort of a selfish question, but
Yeah.
we're an owner of a brand,
Yep.
but as an individual person,
Mm-hmm.
there's what you're talking about, like film a video
Yeah.
of something that's current.
Yes.
So, but do you have any thoughts on where I'm trying to represent a brand, and then our home office is
Yeah.
saying this is the brand, this
Mhm.
is what the notion that we need to have, but
Yep.
but the customers also want to have sort of that dual connection,
Mhm.
that somebody is a person that represents or supports that brand.
Yep.
Do you have any thoughts on that connection or that duality?
Yeah, so franchisees do have a little bit more difficult time because you have to subscribe to often the corporate brand guidelines. Now that being said, Do you have the market cornered on how to clean? No. You don't have, that doesn't have to be branded, right? You interviewing your employees, right? People want to see who they are. They're good people. You know, they can use it themselves. And really, your best advocates are those brand ambassadors that aren't brand ambassadors. That, again, that's where affiliate marketing works, right? Your employees, if they love it there, they don't have to put on a Mary Maid shirt to prove that they're awesome and that they love it there, right? You can just, here's a camera. Tell me what you think. Hi, I'm Phil. I clean houses, and I love to make things better. And if you'd like to work with me, here's my number, right? I mean, that's it. And so be careful of, brands are brands, totally get that, but your employees are your best advocates. And I bet you love what you do, in which case that makes you the best advocate. So when you're out, yeah, it's great to wear, your branded shirt, but it's more great to be helpful, right? Because nobody's looking at your shirt like, oh, wow, it says many moons. No, they don't care, right? But if you're a good guy, they want to work with you, man. So make sure, you hire right. Make sure you guys deliver on your promises. That's your best brand advocacy. And then encourage your people who have already loved you to write referrals, right? Go to Google, go to Yelp, go wherever, right? Go to our Facebook page. If you love what we did, let us know. And that becomes your marketing. Because more branding, you don't need more branding. You need more stories. You need more people that love your stuff that can walk up and say, what's your name? By the way, Matt. I love working with Matt. Matt is awesome. Matt and his team took care of me. And my problem was I had cat hair everywhere. And Matt took care of it. Now, anybody here have a cat problem? Go to Matt, right? I mean, that's how simple it is. Not go to Mary Maids, go to Matt. Matt fixed my problem. So I hope that makes sense.
No, it does. It's because it makes complete sense. It makes complete sense. It's just that I think all of us probably need to learn how to present ourselves in that way, and then we're just naturally fearful of that, as it were. But you're still, as a person, supporting the business, but you're also being helpful, and then also, stating that you're an expert or.
Yeah, and right, if you have a phone, right, if you have an iPhone, there's an app called Capture. It is so smart, it even tells you, hey, stupid, make sure you have it sideways, right? Because think about it, we don't watch TV up and down, right? Periscope, unfortunately, is up and down, but phones are not, right? They're landscape mode. It even says, hey, you can't use me. Okay, so you put it up, right? You get a Gorilla Pod, and you hook it up. Whatever the phone costs, and this is $30. And you set it up, and once a week, once a month, whatever, have your employees talk about their biggest problems and the biggest way that they fixed it, right? They are not part of the problem, they're part of the solution. And they stand there, hi, I'm Phil, and I had a problem with cat fur, and what we did is blah, 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 and we had a delighted customer. And I love to fix problems like that. So if you have a problem like that, let me know. I want to help. So, and don't overproduce. Please, please don't overproduce, right? Because natural enthusiasm is what sucks people in, not stuff that you can tell is manufactured. Here's a teleprompter. Hi, my name is Phil. I love it here. It's really, hold on. Oh, it's great. So just be authentic. It's okay if they say ums and ahs and ers and they're not perfect English speaking. Totally cool. In fact, better, because it's more real. Because they're going to get that when they see you, right? Just like your picture. So, does that help?
Yeah, it does.
Cool.